G'day, have I got a story for you? Check the disclaimer. Season 2, Episode 8, Flowerbox. I wake up cold. My legs, my tummy, my feet. I'm shivering. I know where I am. I have woken up like this many times before. I push the blanket that was only covering my head and shoulders up above my head onto the pillow and take in a few breaths through my mouth. I feel the lightheadedness slowly drain away. As I sit up, I make sure the blanket stays where I pushed it onto the pillow. I look at the sheer white curtain on my left and see that from the position of the sun, it is probably close to midday. How much sleepy stuff did he give me this time? And how long was I asleep with my head under the blanket? I listen and hear snoring coming from the lounge room. Sleepy man is always here when I wake up like this. I scan the house with my mind, already knowing that I will find no one else here. I need to get up, wash, dressed, and then start fixing the bedding. As I edge myself over to the side of the bed, I feel the familiar pain that always follows when I wake like this. I quietly go to the hall cupboard, carefully avoiding the floorboards that I know will creak. I get a flannel and towel and head to the bathroom. I hesitate at the door. I found many terrible things in this bathroom, so I don't really want to enter. I carefully jump up and reach the handle, and the door opens easily as usual. I just stand here, looking at the slightly open door. There is no smell coming from within, no odd lights, no shadows moving. I push the door slowly. I see the towel rail. Then the sink comes into view. Next I see the black and white tiles on the wall and the pink bath. Everything looks okay. I walk in slowly, looking around. Nothing so far. I don't want to close the door because the shower is behind it. I don't want to see in the shower. Actually, I don't want to be in this room at all. But this is the only place that I am allowed to wash myself when I'm on the surface. I slowly close the bathroom door and see that the shower curtain is closed. Good. I'm staying away from that shower, just in case. I wash myself using a trickle of water from the bath taps, the bar of soap and the flannel. I make sure that I also wipe all the soap off my sensitive skin. Suddenly I remember that lovely little toddler with her flawless skin and beautiful big brown eyes. I close my eyes, trying to imagine reliving that moment that we were so comfortable with each other. We were hugging and I gently rested my head on hers and felt her soft curls on my cheek. Oh, no! My body shook. Oh. Did she see? I'm looking up at not Nuala, not the second Nuala either. Not Lola. Lola is gone. Not Fenella. Who is this? Is she new? She is yelling at me that the door stays open. She is yelling it over and over again. I brace myself as she comes towards me, but she suddenly stops. She is standing, bending over me with her hands almost on my shoulders, but not quite. It's like she's trying to grab me but can't. Like there's an invisible barrier between her and me, but really, there is no barrier at all.
The girl.
She is mumbling something under her breath.
Except for the goodnight kiss. The girl is not to be touched. except for the goodnight kiss.
She suddenly begins throwing things at
The
me.
girl is
The
not
towel
touched,
from the rail,
except for the goodnight kiss.
everything near the sink, then opens the cupboards under the sink and throws everything at my head. I hold up the towel in front of my face until she's finished. She makes an odd, frustrated sort of growly noise as she exits and screams at me to clean that room because it smells. I know it smells, it always does after he's finished with me. As I carefully pull all the bedding off the bed, I keep the wet things and dry things separate. The wet bedding has a very strong smell of urine. I don't understand why he does that. Yuck. I drag all the wet things to the washing machine, making sure only the dry parts touch the floor. They're a lot heavier when they're wet. I hear the woman in the kitchen. She is still throwing things. Why? I don't remember any of the previous women throwing things. Suddenly, Sleepy Man's thoughts are so loud. He has woken up and I see him standing in the doorway of the kitchen.
Those idiots!
I hear him say,
They've sent me another dud, another one of their broken toys.
Then he calls out.
A cuppa would be nice.
The woman immediately stops, as though a switch was suddenly turned off or maybe turned on. I watch from the hallway as she takes the kettle to the sink and starts filling it with water. Is she going to make him a cuppa? A cuppa would be nice. Are they code words? I see Sleepy Man sit next to the phone in the dining room. Is he going to phone them to complain like he usually does? I walk carefully through the lounge room towards the dining room where Sleepy Man is. I need to get a chair to stand on to reach the top of the washing machine where the bedding needs to go. If I'm really quiet, maybe he won't notice me. I peek around the corner to make sure he's still facing the other way. Yes, he's complaining loudly. The woman takes no notice of me as I get the chair as quickly as I can. It's so heavy. I struggle through the lounge room and hallway, placing it back on the floor every few steps, and eventually get it to the washing machine. Sleepy Man is still screaming into the phone. I know what will happen. The person he is screaming at will wait silently until he's finished, then tell him the same thing as last time. Do I remember that from happening previously? Or is this another future event that I've remembered? Either way, I know what happened. I remember waking up to his extremely loud, penetrating thoughts, and I couldn't help but know. They had given him exactly what he asked for. His idea of the perfect wife. Everything he wanted, every detail addressed. It took them over a year to get her exactly right. She was programmed to love him. But after a short amount of time, she really did. She genuinely loved him. She immediately obeyed his every whim, cooked his favourite food, made him cuppas exactly the way he liked them. She cared for his son and loved him as though he was her own child. She had memories. Were they her memories or memories from the other woman? She remembered birthing him, breastfeeding him. She truly thought that he was hers. The house was perfectly kept by her, and she made sure that she looked good. Sleepy Man found fault. She was too perfect, not real enough. He hated her, his idea of the perfect woman. Despite his cruelness, she loved him so much, way beyond the programming. He was told that if he didn't want the perfect woman that he asked for, then he had to get rid of her himself. They would not do it for him. Had they said that to him before? Or was this the first time? Sleepy Man had built a brick flower box at the bottom of the patio steps at the front of the house, sized perfectly for this purpose. He used the leftover house bricks so it matched, And at the time he knew that no one would question a flower box being there because they were so popular. It only took him one day to do the brickwork, but the box to put inside, that took him considerably longer. He used to be a bricklayer, but he didn't know anything about carpentry. He waited for what he thought was the perfect night. He knew that I would be taken that night, so I would not be there, and thought he could do it without any interference. He crushed up the tablets, and I saw in his mind that he used 2 more than the last time. I remember wondering if he had done this before. I think so. He wanted to wait until 3 a.m. to move her, but he fell asleep. He woke at 5:30 a.m. and decided to do it anyway. He picked her up from the bed and found her heavier than he expected. She woke as he carried her down the hallway. She kissed his cheek and with slurred speech told him that she loved him. He tried to make her walk, but those crushed tablets he gave her, well, he ended up half carrying her out the front door, down the steps, and then told her to close her eyes because he had a surprise for her. He picked her up again and threw her down so that her head hit the bricks of the flower box. Then he put her in the box that was already in the flower box. Oh dear. Then he nailed the lid shut. Sand filled in around the box, and then dirt on the top. I find it difficult sometimes recalling other people's memories. They remember it all as themselves, of course. So when I see their memories, I see exactly what they remember. It is not like I am watching it take place from a distance. It is as though I am in their place. In this case, carrying her, then trying to make her walk, picking her up, and everything else he did. Sometimes I need to stop and take a moment before I recall the rest. After cleaning up the area a bit, he went to the room at the end of the hall to look at his son sleeping in the cot. Next he went to the phone. He said only 2 words. It's done. He settled back in his favourite chair and fell asleep while going over everything in his thoughts. Almost empty sandbag is in the bin. Dirty wheelbarrow back where it belongs. Tools put away. Jar of nails back in its spot on the top of the old wardrobe in the garage. Son asleep. New woman's arrival imminent. Chair comfy. Sleep. I pull myself up onto the chair that is now next to the washing machine. As I try to pull the bedding in, I wonder, will this new woman hang it on the line when it is washed? All the other women did. They all assumed that anything in the washing machine they must have put in there, so they hung it on the line outside and brought it in when it was dry. They put away all the clean washing almost automatically. Will this new woman do that? Her mind is different to all the others, and I don't mean just the usual differences. Does this one know that she is a copy? She seems to have a deeper mind than all these previous copies. Is all that real? Or was it artificially created for her? Well, whether it happened naturally when she was created or was added later, it is definitely different. I put the powder stuff in the washing machine and closed the lid, thankful that the strong smell of Sleepy Man's urine will soon be gone. I then climb onto the lid so I can reach the start button. I simultaneously hear Sleepy Man snoring and the kettle begin to whistle. If this woman is like the others, she will make a cuppa even though he is asleep. I climb down and wonder, can I get this chair back into the dining room before the woman takes the cuppa to Sleepy Man? Will she let the tea draw and vacate the kitchen for a few minutes? Or will she take him weak tea? He likes his tea strong.
How do you take your tea?
She asks. Maybe she doesn't know that he's asleep. I see her walk over to Sleepy Man and stand directly in front of him.
How do you take your tea?
She asks again, but louder and more forceful. He opens his eyes and sleepily says,
You know how I take it. It's been programmed into you.
Programmed into me?
She says loudly.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Okay, so now she doesn't know that she is a copy, but she did before. This is different to the usual women. I delve deep into her mind, which is in itself amazing. I have not known a copy woman to have such a deep mind as this. I think of Stella, the Mangler's secretary. Her mind is deep for a copy, but hers started off like all the other copies and has slowly grown over time. She still has a long way to go, but what she has accomplished is very impressive. Nuala, the first one, she is living on the surface now, and her mind has also grown. Whatever happened to the second Nuala? Will this woman also be named Nuala? Actually, I can see in her mind that the name they have given her is Fiola. Fiola continues talking until Sleepy Man says,
Clean the house.
Suddenly she stops mid-sentence. I wait to see if she is going to move, or is she stuck? Gone to the moon, as I call it. I can see Sleepy Man also watching her, waiting to find out too. She turns and walks straight to the bathroom, muttering something under her breath.
Clean the house, I must. Clean the house. Clean the house.
Sleepy Man will probably go back to sleep now.
Clean the house, I must. Clean the house.
Just realised that right now, I know that 4 things are about to happen at once. I begin to take the chair back, through the kitchen this time, towards the dining room. I stop as I see shadows moving and look out the kitchen window as it darkens. The trees are suddenly much bigger. I have never actually seen that in the process of happening before. I know that the little dog is now outside. Oh, I want to go to be with her. Sleepy Man snores. That was fast. The car door closes out the front and I hear footsteps towards the house, but the thud of male footsteps, not the tap of the usual high heels. Everything is silent inside the house. Is Fiola stuck? Gone to the moon? Yes. Oh dear. I hear the familiar sound of a key in the front door, and the tree's leaves whispering outside the kitchen window. Knowing that I am not allowed to run, I quickly walk to the back door. When those trees are big, well, it seems like I should be out there with them, and the little dog. I hear footfalls in the house as I quickly slip out the back door and close it silently behind me. Who has that man come for this time? Will Fiola be okay? Will Sleepy Man? He's probably not here for me, since the trees are big and they usually send women to get me. I do not want to look into his mind to find out. His thoughts are not loud, so that's good. I listen to his loud footfalls, and above the sound of the water being agitated in the washing machine, I hear the protests of Sleepy Man. He hates it when he wakes to find a person in his house, especially one that he doesn't know. Why was this man sent? What is he going to do? I sit on the back doorstep, listening, hugging the little dog. Thank you so much for joining me with a cuppa. I appreciate your company.